I'm about to rest in terror while my water's still hot, and now I'm soaking. A brother like the devastating DJ Quick ain't joking. Mess with me and suckers, see that they get broken. My name is Quick, but you can call me Daddy. Yo, open up the door and see a freak man in the caddy. The freakies in the L, dog, and shabbies in the L, go, and everybody sipping on a quote. Here we go. D just came with a 40 and a quote. In addition to the 3 that Greedy just bought. But I don't want to start early, so I just might put my 40 in the freezer, cause I want to get bit.
KBLA Talk 1580. No clean edit of dollars and cents. Little DJ Quick in honor of Miss Sherry Bell being joined this morning. And by the way, it is the perfect time to call me. We have a guest, but we also have you, KBLA delegation. Tap in, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Mimi Sanders is a co-founder of something called HBCU Curate, dedicated with the passion for her alma mater and her community. She put those two together as a proud graduate of Alabama State University. She's got experience in the entertainment industry and production and casting. And she works in the wine and spirits industry. Speaking of tonight, Mimi Sanders, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. Thank you guys for
happy to have you on. We were talking with the council member Heather Hutt earlier this week for the 10th district, and this HBCU shindig y'all are having on Saturday.
Actually, it's going to be today, Friday.
Oh, it's Friday. Okay, I knew I couldn't go because I'm working all weekend. So it's tonight. That's right. It's tonight at the Michelle and Barack Obama Sports Complex.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So talk to me about, what is it?
So last year, my alma mater, Alabama State University, came out to play UCLA. It was the first time that we had a black college, a historically black college, to come out, 1, to play against UCLA, 2, to play at the Rose Bowl. And so because of the historic moment of the time, we wanted to make sure that we showed up and showed out for LA and roll out the red carpet for that moment in time. And we were fortunate enough to do the same thing this year with North Carolina Central University, who's also out here to play at the Rose Bowl against UCLA. And this, again, is the second time that a black college has been able to do so, and they'll be playing on September the 16th. So for those who are not able to come to the game, we really wanted to bring a little bit of Southern flair, HBCU culture out here to Los Angeles. And so what we're doing today from 5 to 9 is we are having the HBCU Culture Fest. It's going to be featuring North Carolina Central's Sound Machine Band, and they will be performing at 5 o'clock. We're going to be having Obama Boulevard is going to be shut down. The band's going to be marching down the street. We're going to go in for a pep rally where the band is going to perform. And then we're going to go outside and we're going to have a block party just to celebrate HBCUs, HBCU culture, and to bring those elements here in Los Angeles where we really don't see that.
I understand it's free. It's open to the public, and people can come and kick it.
Yes, ma'am. It is free. It's open to the public. We will be having food trucks, DJs, games. During the event, we will be honoring Kim Coles, who went to North Carolina Central University. So it's going to be a really great time, especially for those who aren't able to make the game. You're going to be able to come out, see the band, see a really major element of HBCU culture, and just get yourself immersed into that world.
Mimi, what is HBC Curate? What is that organization?
So HBCU Curate is the brainchild of myself and fellow alumni Vanda Lee. Basically, what we wanted to do, I've been out here in California for a little bit over a decade, so is he. One of the things that we noticed by going to school down south in Alabama, there's a rich HBCU culture, and we didn't really see the presence of that when we were here in California. We are active with our alumni chapter locally here, but we really wanted to see more events, more awareness around HBCUs and HBCU culture. So hence the name HBCU Curate, where we curate experiences, live entertainment events for those that are not really familiar with HBCUs, for those that are, to have a place to call home when they come to our events. And so that's pretty much what HBCU Curate is and why we came up with it.
Yeah, it's true. We don't have an official HBCU. We have, CDU, which is our version of an HBCU. It's the only one we have. But there's so many people in Hollywood and LA that are graduates of different historically black universities and colleges. And I know like there's Howard Wood, which is a Bison entertainment organization. There's all these little offshoots. So it's like an underground culture here. It sounds like you guys are bringing it above ground. And certainly the Michelle and Barack Obama complex over there, we used to call Rancho Cienega Park, right there at Obama and King, is a huge spot, and it's a great brand new facility. And tell me the times again. I know all are welcome.
Yes, all are welcome. So band begins at 5 o'clock. I would highly recommend getting there a little bit early. Parking will be in the back off of Exposition Boulevard. And the event goes until 9 p.m., but the band starts at 5, and they'll go till about 6.
Mimi Sanders, how do we keep track of HBCU Curate if we need more of that HBCU vibe in our life?
Well, you can follow us on Instagram at HBCU Curate, and we'll be on all social media platforms coming, but that will be the handle for you, is HBCU Curate.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for, bringing the spirit, the fun, and the culture to the left coast.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having us. We hope to see you all out there.
See you all out there. See you on Instagram at HBCU Curate. While you're Instagramming, you can go to Diprima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. You'll find me there. And, of course, KBLA 1580. You'll find the radio station there. Please like, follow, subscribe, all of that, because it makes us stronger. It helps us serve you better. This is that moment in time to call me, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Hunter Biden has been indicted. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominic DePrima when we come forward.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
She's so smooth, so... I'm interrupting my own shower to remind you to treat your skin like the queen she is with Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash, packed with Olay's highest level of vitamin B3 complex. It's so moisturizing that it will give you visibly smoother, head-turning skin in just 14 days. People wondering, how'd she get so smooth? Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash. Also, try Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion.
The City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program will start accepting applications at 8 a.m. on September 19th. The program will provide up to 6 months of rental arrears to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardship. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up AutoSave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
AutoSave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
The conversation continues right now with Dominic DePrima on First Things First.
So happy that the conversation today is brought to you by First is brought to you by Wealth Management Financial Advisors. First things first, of course, is what I'm talking about. They do have tax services. If you're facing a small business tax deadline today, you might want to give them a call. Check out the website. If you are an individual or a nonprofit, they can also help you get your financials on track. Find them at wealthmanagementlb.com or call 562-427-8877, 562-427-8877. We do have a lot to talk about. Hunter Biden, boy, I thought it was Hunter Biden all the time before. Well, it's about to ramp up. I know the Fox News folks are salivating. Hunter Biden has been indicted by Special Counsel David Weiss on gun charges, okay? Making false statements on a federal firearms form, possession of a firearm as a prohibited person. And it is the first time ever, as we said earlier, that the child of a sitting president is indicted by the Justice Department. To me, it's highly likely, that Hunter Biden has committed many crimes. He's not the president. I don't know. Republicans have not been able to find anything substantive that implicates the president. But I believe just as presidents are off limits while they are in office, their families should be too, because it smacks of retaliatory mess. And, especially amid this environment where Republicans are now impeaching Joe Biden for nothing. Impeaching Joe Biden for mysterious lot of nothing that they can't find anything, but they're going to impeach him anyway because of innuendo and implication around Hunter Biden. And they feel like that will balance out the 4 criminal indictments of their candidate. And that's a ridiculous assertion, but they're going to run with it, and they're going to give their base something to keep saying over and over again until we believe it. So I think it should be hands off the president's adult and youth children until after. You arrest Hunter Biden when Joe finishes his term, just like you waited to bring charges against Donald J. Trump until his term was over, and why he's desperately trying to get back in the White House so he doesn't have to face any kind of culpability. I doubt it would be jail, but any other kind of accountability, right, for what he's done. But yeah, here we go. It's going to be the Hunter Biden election in 2024, unless somehow a deal is made at the last minute. That plea deal that they had on the table fell apart, unless some last minute Deus ex machina intervention happens and changes the game. We're going to be hearing about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is the new Benghazi. We hear about it 24 hours a day. No matter what else is going on that's more important or more relevant, the folks that stand against justice will be talking about Hunter Biden all day. How do 11,000 people die in a flood? 11,300 in Libya, in the city of Derna, have died because of flooding from the heavy rains, and then 2 dams broke because of the rain. That is insane. The mayor of Derna says they're expecting that the death toll could rise to 20,000 from a flood. I don't know what to say. It seems like these natural disasters are amping up, and we're going to see more of them. How do you prepare yourself? How do we stand in solidarity? People are getting busted. It must be this Mercury retrograde shadow period, right? Where I think today is the last day of retrograde, and then I know I jumped over to astrology, but that's what I do. Y'all know. And then we're in the shadow period supposedly till September 30th. So take it slow. Give yourself extra time. Chinese Defense Minister Li Shangfu, who's been laying low for the last couple of weeks, is now under investigation by Chinese authorities for illegal, corrupt procurement of military equipment. Can't say I know a lot about this gentleman, but it falls in line with people just right and left running into legal problems, whether they be Hunter Biden or Donald Trump and Drumpf, I guess is the word I was looking for. The DACA rule, being designated as illegal, according to this judge, a federal judge in Texas this week. He rejected an attempt by the Biden administration to bolster the DACA program, which, as you know, protected young people who came to this country illegally through no fault of their own because they came with their parents as babies or children. Now, Judge Hannon says nope. President Obama exceeded his authority when he did DACA. So that's a setback. Biden administration will probably appeal. It'll go to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, I guess, eventually. It will work its way through the courts. And I guess this guy is a judge, George Bush nominee. So once again, highlighting the importance of these judges. And it just must be crazy if you're in that small category of folks that are categorized as DACA. Even though the American people support you, according to polling, you have been a political football since the 45th president was elected. He struck it down, then the Supreme Court reinstated it because they said that the Trump administration hadn't given enough of a argument for eliminating it, and now it's been struck down again. That's people's lives, by the way. I think we do have to talk more about the good things that the Democrats are doing, and we need to know what they are so we don't run around repeating dumb talking points that really don't make any sense. So the Biden administration is working on a new law that is supposed to change the rules for overtime so that, if you're a salaried employee, you don't get overtime because you're considered management or whatever. It's only for hourly employees unless you make less than $35,000 a year. If you're in an administrative or professional role that you make less than $35,000, then they do have to pay you overtime. Now, the Biden administration is trying to bump that up to $55,000 a year, which makes sense because in a lot of these expensive areas like cities, that is not a whole bunch of money to live on, and that would give a lot of workers, millions of workers. I think it's something like 8 million. They say would be impacted by this and would see their paychecks. No, not 8 million. 4 million workers would see their paychecks bumped up by this. Great time to call me, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Freestyle phones going to Molly Bell from the city of Compton.
Reparations in memory of our ancestors. God bless morning to you, Dominique, Miles, KBLA family, and the delegation, and, of course, our chat room. And it was nice hearing from, what was her name, Mimi Sanders, for historically black colleges and universities. I always hear so much about them, but never attended anything on that in that order. You did just a great job on bringing up everything, and of course Sherry Bell. Sherry Bell is funny. She said it was written in small print, and then she lowered her voice like that, so we could literally see the small print and hear it. Gosh, that was. You guys are great together. I enjoy that. My sister who lives in Las Vegas, and she was telling me, I think she called me yesterday or was early this morning, that somebody had hacked the casinos, a couple of casinos, and everything went down. I mean, and that they stole information. She was telling me about it. I said, girl, I got to get off the phone. I got Dominica be on in a few minutes. And I said, maybe Dominica know about it, or you call me back after 9 o'clock. And she said, okay. But for Hunter Biden and President Biden, I heard for him. My first knowing about Joe Biden and his position, he has had a lot of death in his family.
Yeah.
His children, I think Hunter might be his last child living. I mean, his wife, and when he first, somebody, the whole group of them were killed, and then the other one, and now Hunter's in trouble. And this is why we need to fight for a system of justice. We should use this moment to let the system know and let those who are watching. This happened to us as black people all the time. We get caught with a gun, and they don't even give us no kind of anything. If it's not registered, then they look it up and say that it was gang-related or it was used while using drugs. They said that he only had it for 10 days, Dominique, and it was never shot. And he did lie and said, I'm not using drugs. Duh. You think people are going to say I was? I'm on drugs.
Yeah, I'm high right now, officer.
Yeah, I mean, all of this, and the Republicans are going mad. And the reason I think this is just me, I believe that Putin, the man from China, Xi Jinping, I believe that they believe that Trump is going to win. And so they are getting their ducks in a row. They are lining themselves up now, getting weaponry. We got a crazy man that won't even fund the military, not doing what they're supposed to do. And I believe that they believe, this is just me, I haven't heard this, that Trump is going to win. And Trump, everybody knows, even the Republicans know he's ignorant. He don't know anything. He doesn't read. And they believe that they're going to take over. I'm just saying to all of us who are listening, even if, say, Barbara Lee is not appointed, this is not the time to sit out the election. Vice President Kamala Harris was at a college the other day, and thousands of young people registered to vote. And I'm just saying that is so much because it seems like there's a plan, Dominique, that's going on. Like you brought it up, thousands, and this is in North Africa, killed from an earthquake, dams breaking. And you used to listen to a lot of us call in from Compton, and we've told about the potholes.
Yeah.
They're still there. And under my house, my patio is cracking. What if, because we haven't had rain the way we should have, and the pipes break, what if all the Compton sinks in? I don't know. I'm just saying, and I'm usually not.
That would be crazy, Molly Bell. Compton is a massive sinkhole. I'm going to pray that doesn't happen.
Well, that you're already on the prayer list for those who are praying. But I'm just saying that we're hearing about dams broke and potholes, and water and flooding. I don't know what's happening, but we seem like even nature is kind of like.
I mean, it's a climate emergency. We are ruining our planet, and then we are surprised when things don't act like we want them. You can't trash your house and then wonder what's wrong with it. That our planet is our house. We haven't been taking care of business.
I agree, and that's why I'm just saying that for everything that we do, we've got to replace it with a system of justice. And when it's not just, it's not going to happen. And thank you for all the reparation people that you've had on. I'm glad Mr. People says there's only two things left, the truth and reparation. So, yeah, I don't call in when all of them, but I be writing stuff in the chat room while they talking.
I got to go back and look at all that. We got more to come, for sure. Lots more conversation on reparations coming.
I'm hanging up. Thank you for taking my call. And all you prayer warriors out there, you know what you've got to do. And I'm serious. We've got to keep fasting. We've got to keep praying because the struggle continues. But always, to God be the glory. And, Miles, if you get a chance, even though I said all that scripture, Bible stuff, I need to hear that the world is cold-blooded by Rick James.
Okay, cold-blooded. We take a request only from Molly Bell, though. Don't think you got clout like Molly Bell straight out of Compton. Don't think you got clout.
Thank you, and I'll see you at the airport, maybe.
Okay. Okay, bye. I think you're talking about the Fly Compton event. It's actually not at the airport, but you can go to flycompton.com and find out all about it. It is tonight, but it's not too late to come. Their very first gala is helping more Black folks get into aviation. We need that, and we want to support that. You can donate $8 on Instagram at FlyCompton, or go to flycompton.com and find out all about their first ever gala. It's still the perfect time to call me after news, traffic, and sports. I'm Dominique DePrima. Happy Friday. KBLA Talk 1580.
You couldn't trade me for another, 'cause I think you're so sexy, sexy, sexy. Cold blooded in my dictionary. Sexy, sexy, sexy. Cold blooded. What more can I say, baby? Sexy, sexy, sexy. Cold.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A United Airlines flight from Newark, New Jersey to Rome dove more than 28,000 feet in 10 minutes and was forced to return to the New Jersey airport. The Boeing 777 had a problem with its cabin pressurization Wednesday that forced the pilot to rapidly bring the plane to a lower altitude. The flight crew then turned the jetliner around and brought the 270 passengers and 14 crew members back to Newark. African-American Tory Lanez is being denied bond in connection to his shooting of rapper Megan Thee Stallion. Last month, Lanez was sentenced to 10 years in prison for the shooting. Soon after, Lanez's defense team filed an appeal and requested that he be released from prison while the appeals process plays out in court. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
What will you find at Macy's Backstage? Here's a hint. Fall finds for $25 and under, like sharp blazers, cozy sweaters, cargo pants, jackets, and more. Find the latest trends and new arrivals at a Macy's Backstage store near you.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers are back in action tonight. They take on the Detroit Tigers in the first game of a 3-game series. A win tonight and tomorrow night could give the Dodgers the NL West title. The Dodgers are 31 games over 500 and lead the Giants by 13.5. Fifth-ranked USC is off this weekend. The Trojans are 3-0 and have one of the most productive offenses in college football. The Trojans are averaging 59.3 points per game. Quarterback Khalid Williams leads the nation with 12 touchdown passes. UCLA is on the field this weekend. They have a non-conference game Saturday at the Rose Bowl against North Carolina Central, one of the nation's prominent HBCU schools. The NC Central Band made the cross-country trip and will perform at halftime. UCLA's Dante Moore, a freshman from Detroit, is expected to start at quarterback. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus, Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are now in Big Tobacco's fantasy land. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better. Teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's fantasy land, the deadliest industry is your friend.
Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
Hi, this is LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to the 28th Annual Central Avenue Jazz Fest on September the 23rd from 11 to 7 p.m. For nearly 3 decades, the Central Avenue Jazz Festival has paid homage to the legendary Central Avenue and its influence on jazz history. Jazz, blues, and Latin jazz will be featured on 3 stages of music. Co-headlining are Hubert Laws with special guest Eloise Laws and the Billy Childs Quartet featuring Sean Jones. The day includes plenty of food, merchants, and 4 pavilions focused on youth programming, art, health and wellness, and public resources. Parking is limited, so Metro and rideshare are recommended. Hubert Laws with special guests Eloise Laws and the Billy Childs Quartet featuring Sean Jones. The day includes plenty of food, merchants, and 4 pavilions focused on youth programming, art, health and wellness, and public resources. For more information, visit centralavjazzfest.com. centralavjazzfest.com. See you on the 23rd.
The Black Hollywood Education and Resource Center proudly presents its 25th annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase, September 22nd through the 24th. Join us for the opening night celebration on Friday, September 22nd, featuring iconic film director Michael Schultz of Cooley High and Car Wash fame, along with rising director Jewel Taylor from They Clone Tyrone, plus actor-director Maurice J. Irvin. Then on Saturday, September 23rd and Sunday, September 24th, enjoy the short film showcase featuring 47 films by emerging black male directors from across the globe. Celebrate a legacy of brotherhood and excellence. All events will be held at the Regal LA Live Cinemas in downtown Los Angeles. For more information and tickets, visit www.bherc.org or call 323-957-4656. That's 323-957-4656. Support Black Cinema at the 25th Annual Real Black Men Short Film Showcase. See you there.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the Evanon, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive, KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed, and this one's for you, Molly Bell. You're right. Hackers have taken a whole bunch of data. It's a group called the Scattered Spider Hacking Group. I'm not an expert on hacking groups. Never had heard of it. Apparently, they've taken 6 terabytes from MGM Resorts and Caesars Entertainment. Those 2 organizations are being very secretive about it because I guess they don't want to say whether or not they're being held for ransom. I mean, why else would you take a bunch of data from a casino? Get their money, right? Without a gun. But they're not commenting on it. So, yeah. This is, I think, from what I'm reading, the wave of the future in the sense that lots of school districts and healthcare systems and massive corporations have been hacked, and they have paid out millions of dollars to get their computer systems back and their data back from these hackers. They generally don't talk about how much they paid out, but the reason I say it's the wave of the future because I think it's spreading now beyond just, healthcare and Home Depot. It's going to spread to all kinds of different businesses, cannabis, casinos. And, hey, you want job security? Go into cyber. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky coming to visit Washington next week. I wonder why he's coming. And he is going to try to get Congress to give him another $24 billion with a B. Again, I know I firmly believe we need to stand with Ukraine against Russian aggression. But this is expensive, expensive, expensive. So the question is, for me, a question of priorities. How do we justify spending $24 billion on war when we just saw the report yesterday about how many American children have been thrown into poverty because we say we don't have enough money to pay for the child tax credit, which was a successful policy by the Biden administration, right? Pushed through by people like Congresswoman Maxine Waters and Speaker Nancy Pelosi. One of the most successful public policy initiatives ever, when you can pull 4 million children out of poverty in this country overnight. That's a success. Joe Manchin and all 50 Republican senators said, nah, we'd rather let the kids starve. That's really what they said, and that's how they voted. And now the kids are hungry again. And now here comes Mr. Zelensky, and he wants $24 billion. Can we take that money away from our military budget and give it to him? I don't. The question is, what are our priorities? And how much do we invest in foreign wars? And even though absolutely I stand with them on principle, no one should just be able to come in, invade your country, and be an aggressor and try to take your land and your sovereignty. But the question becomes, what are our budget priorities, right? What are our budget priorities? And speaking of our budget priorities, Congress is the House of Representatives is recessed, and we are looking very likely to have a government shutdown, right? We have, I think, till September 30th. Yep, September 30th to come up with a deal while Republicans are wiling out, fighting among themselves, the Freedom Caucus versus McCarthy, which, the Freedom Caucus is one of those joke titles, like what Sherry Bell was talking about, the civil rights bill that really takes away your civil rights, the Freedom Caucus that really shuts down the government so veterans and the elderly can't get their hard-earned benefits. If we don't get a solution, we will see a shutdown. It's right around the corner. Folks yelling at each other in Congress. Apparently, Kevin McCarthy was stunning when he said, filing an effing motion to remove me from office. It wasn't a hot mic. It was the opposite of a hot mic. He probably had it scripted for him by some consultant that said, ooh, this is going to make you look tough and make you look real. He said, you guys think I'm scared of a motion to vacate. Go effing ahead and do it. I'm not scared. Cue the Clint Eastwood music. The fact is, it's a hot mess. He could lose the speakership. He might have the votes to keep it. Meanwhile, they're basically once again holding our country hostage. And I don't know if you saw that hilarity on MSNBC of the interview with Matt Gaetz, where he claims that they do have a secret agreement with Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, about all the things he had to deliver if he wanted to be the Speaker. All the promises. They twisted his arm, and apparently he signed off on this secret agreement. But Gaetz claims he doesn't have a copy of it. Give me a break. You bully the future Speaker of the House of Representatives into making a bunch of promises to you, and you don't have a copy of it. If that's actually true, you should be fired just for, being inefficient, but just for malfeasance. Yep. The crazies are the inmates are definitely running the institution in Congress. But the problem is we are the ones that, pay the price. Always. We are the ones that pay the price because we are the ones that have to not get benefits, that have to watch the credit rating of the United States go down at a time when we don't need any more economic hits. We are already in struggle mode. We are already in inflation mode. But what do Republicans want to spend their time doing? Indicting Hunter Biden and impeaching Joe Biden. I mean, if it was tit for tat world, we should definitely indict Jared Kushner and Ivanka. Both of them got crazy sweetheart deals that should have been illegal. But can we, instead of doing tit for tat, can we focus on running the country? Can we focus on, getting the appointees, whether it's military or judges, through the Senate? Can we work on that? No, you guys want to do an impeachment with zero evidence. It's a new normal, so I guess this means we're going to impeach every president from now on, which is a waste of time and money. The standard is meant to be high crimes and misdemeanors, not you're mad because you didn't get reelected. That's not the standard for impeachment. Or you're mad because you had to be the first president ever to be impeached twice. Well, dude, you fostered an insurrection. You tried to overthrow the government of the United States of America. What has Joe Biden done? He has a problem child. Most people do. If you don't have a problem child, you got a problem cousin, a problem uncle, a problem auntie, a problem brother, a problem sister. That's called family. So this is clearly a political hit job. It's clearly being targeted in time for the 2024 election. And I will be laughing my butt off if it backfires. And I don't know. I can't say I believe that it will, but I hope that it does. It backfires because one Hunter Biden does not equal 4 Trump indictments. Sorry, one Biden impeachment does not equal 2 Trump impeachments, nor 2 Trump impeachments, 4 criminal indictments, and a partridge in a pear tree of civil cases. No, sorry, it doesn't add up. It's a great moment to call me, 800-920-1580. Let's talk about it. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with a quick recap for my time at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. There were speakers Ian Dunlap, Damon John, Lynn Richardson, MC Light, Don Kennedy, to name a few. Take a listen to what Justin Grant, Community Development Lead at Chase's Advancing Black Pathway, let's see what he had to say.
So I'm Justin Grant. I lead community development and national partnerships for JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathway strategy. And so we're focused on strengthening the economic foundation of black communities, and we're making targeted investments in programs like the Advancing Black Wealth Tour to help us get our tools and resources out to the community to drive sustained impact over time.
So when it comes to black and brown people, it sounds like Chase is making it their personal responsibility not only to facilitate these events, but to educate and provide resources. So, Mr. Grant, I have to ask, what does wealth building look like for the individual?
It's home ownership. It's having that freedom to be able to start your own business and create jobs in your community. And it's having that long-term plan towards retirement, having that vision for what you want your life to be, and you have the resources to actually live it.
I'm Maisha Cairo. Thanks for sticking around. That was my recap from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. First stop was here in LA, and they're taking it national.
Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580. Are you worried about your credit score? Well, look, you can rebuild it. There are lots of factors that go into determining your credit score, but one of the most effective ways to improve your score is to consistently pay your bills on time, over time. If you're forgetful about payments like me, try automating your bill payments. That way all your creditors get paid on time, and you'll have freed yourself of trying to remember. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You are now in Big Tobacco's fantasy land. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better, teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's fantasy land, the deadliest industry is your friend.
Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, so 60 years ago today, 4 little black girls were murdered by white supremacists at a Birmingham church when it was bombed. This is one of those terrible tragedies that galvanized the civil rights movement. 4 little girls murdered in church. What could be worse? Well, fast forward to today, the Huffington Post with a powerful, powerful article talking about how the movements in states like Florida and Texas to restrict the teaching of our history, black history, which is American history, how it resonates for folks like the relatives and survivors of those 4 little girls who were murdered in Birmingham. In fact, last year in Alabama, the state legislature tried to pull a Florida. They had a law saying that teachers couldn't teach divisive concepts in school, i.e. history. This is a bill that would have stopped teachers from teaching about race and racism. And one of the reasons why it did not pass is because a woman named Lisa McNair went to the state capitol and testified and brought Republican lawmakers to tears, talking about her own sister who was murdered in that church 60 years ago. And as one lawmaker said, her story isn't CRT. It's a story of a family. It's a story of a family tragedy. And there are, of course, this is a flashpoint of the civil rights movement. But when you talk about the death and destruction that has been visited upon the African American community in this country by white supremacists, by the KKK, by law enforcement, by the institutions that do have racism built into their systems, you can see why erasing that history, not only does it make it seem like black people are facing all of these deficits in education and wealth for no reason because of our own inadequacies, but it erases the true stories of families, the memories of loved ones who have perished in these deadly clashes. And it's so important. Like, apparently they tried to pass this thing again in June. And once again, it was the powerful stories of real life people, families who lost loved ones to white supremacist extremist terror that stopped that bill in its tracks. Will it work again? I don't know. But it's a really strong reminder of why we need to fight for our books, for our teachers, for our schools, for our ethnic studies. It's not just a theory. These are people's lives. This is our family history. This is our movement. I'm Dominique DePrima, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take. And when I left the Evanon, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan. Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCEL scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
There's a new sheriff in town.
All right, I'm Dr. Nicordelai Corte, and starting September 18th, I couldn't be more thrilled than invite you to join us for the launch of A More Perfect Union. Weekdays right here on KBLA Talk 1580. Weekdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific Time. That's 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern. A More Perfect Union promises to deliver national news of consequence, informed opinion, and analysis beyond the headlines. As KBLA Talk 1580's chief national political analyst, every day you can expect your daily dose of political news of consequence. If you're looking to be engaged, enlightened, and empowered to be a part of the solution to issues related to national politics, elections, identity, culture change, and social justice, A More Perfect Union was designed for you. This daily political affairs show will feature notable journalists, industry leaders, lawmakers, change makers, tastemakers, and ordinary people motivated to do their part to reach beyond today's divisions, to make sense out of news of the day, and offer us all a chance to build a more perfect union. Come on and join me.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
And we are on Steve Reich. Glad to hear the actors, well, at least the writers going back to the table. But what does a United Auto Workers strike look like, right? We're talking about the first time in history, all three major automakers in this country are being struck by the UAW. It's starting with rolling strikes. I'm hoping that the Biden administration will step in a good way, not in a way that harms workers. And I think that, just like with the writer's strike, we need to see swift resolutions. It's funny because, not funny, but interesting because the writer's strike and the hotel workers and the possibility of a UPS and now the UAW has kind of made people forget about all of these smaller fights, right? The city workers and the fast food workers, a lot of healthcare workers. So we are not out of the woods. And I think, as Sherry Bell said, we could see this labor unrest, which hopefully leads to more just wages and working conditions for people in all walks of work. I just made that up. Walks of work, is that a thing? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. Whether you're an auto worker or a TV writer, whether you're a healthcare support or you work in a fast food restaurant. I was so happy to see here in California the fast food giants coming to the table with the union and coming up with a compromise to take that silly waste of money initiative off the ballot, which is meant to overturn the will of the voters, which was for fast food workers to have better wages. I mean, we learned during the Rona that they are essential workers, so they should be paid accordingly. And so we see some trends that seem to be encouraging, and I think that the biggest encouraging trend to me of all is the fact that workers appear to be energized, determined, on the march, on the move, in the spirit. Speaking of our history, right, of our civil rights movement, of the things that have made significant progress for the most number of people in this country, your unions have to be at the top of that list. Happy Friday. Looking forward to talking with comedian Ed Wanda White when we come forward, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A United Airlines flight from Newark, New Jersey to